Hello, good morning, and welcome for our second webinar for undergraduates. For those who do not know me, I am Dilip Oak, founder of Dilip Oak's Academy, India's largest training institute for higher education in America. Last week, we conducted a webinar on how to select the right subjects for bachelors in the USA and the admission procedure. This webinar was conducted by Ms. Maithili Khandekar, a med school student from University of Arizona. In case if you haven't attended that webinar, will be able to see it on our website or on YouTube channel shortly. In today's webinar, we will mainly discuss about why you should pursue bachelors in America and why it is worth the investment, because the investment is quite a lot. So you have to think before you invest, and is it worth? So to give you good insight into this, we have with us our key speakers from California State University, Chico. I welcome Dr. Debra Larson, Provost and Vice President of the Division of Academic Affairs, which consists of all 7 major academic colleges for various fields, including engineering, science, and humanities. Dr. Larson completed her bachelor's and master's from Michigan Tech University and completed her PhD from Arizona State University in civil engineering. She has vast experience in her field and has received several awards till date for her notable contribution. Our second esteemed guest is Mr. Blake Wentz, the Dean of College of Engineering, Computer Science and Construction Management. Dr. Wentz has completed his bachelor's in finance and master's in engineering from University of Nebraska-Lincoln, then completed his PhD from Indiana State University. He is also currently the first vice president of the Associated Schools of Construction, an organization of over 100 different universities across the world, and will take over as international president for 2022. Our third esteemed guest is Dr. Sara Trechter, Associate Vice President of International Education and Global Engagement. Formerly, she also served as the Associate Dean of Graduate Studies at CSU Chico. Dr. Trechter is a professor of linguistics focusing on Native American languages of North America. So without further delay, I invite our eminent guest to take over from here. But before that, please note that after the webinar, there will also be a question and answer session where you can get your doubts clarified. You can raise your hands and then we'll unmute and you can ask the question to our esteemed guests. And due to limited time, of course, we will entertain only a certain number of questions, but I'm sure that we'll try to cover as much as possible. So now I request all our esteemed guests to take over, Dr. Wentz, Dr. Larson, Dr. Trechter. So I'm handing over the mic to you now. Hello. Hello.
Good day and welcome from California. It is really an honor to be here with you to be able to talk about why undergraduate education in the United States. I'm Dr. Debra Larson, and as already indicated before, I'm the provost at California State University, Chico. We also call our university Chico State, so you'll hear me refer to it as our university as Chico State. As provost, I serve directly below our university's president, and I am responsible for all the aspects of our educational mission. I hope you enjoyed our brief video today to give you a little bit of a glimpse into our beautiful campus and the spirit of our university. We have much to talk about today, but before doing so, I would like to thank Mr. Dilip Oak and the Academy for hosting us. We have had a long-standing relationship with Mr. Oak, and we are very grateful for his work to facilitate your interest in studying in the United States. Perhaps after today, you'll consider taking an undergraduate degree in the United States and maybe even at Chico State. Chico State was established in 1887, and it's one of the oldest universities in California. We are a member of the 23 University California State University System. This is the largest publicly funded system in the United States, and it is a system that is widely respected for its commitment to student success and career readiness. Our graduates drive California's economy. Despite the unprecedented challenges that we are all facing around the world, Chico State is committed to more than ever to international engagement. International engagement is a strategic priority of the university, and we continue to nurture our relationships and to support our students while we wait to emerge from the pandemic. Next slide, please. Thank you. To set the context for our conversation today, let's take a quick look at the educational system in the United States. Every child in the United States is afforded a publicly funded education that is often separated into primary school grades 1 through 8, more or less, followed by secondary school, also known as high school, for grades 9 through 12. Different areas of the country will have variations on this, but all paths do lead to a high school diploma. About 66% of the students who receive that high school diploma enroll in either a 2-year community college or a university that offers baccalaureate, master's, and doctoral degrees. Chico State provides bachelor's and master's degrees. Many students will start their higher education at a community college and graduate with a 2-year degree and then transfer to a university like Chico State to complete their last 2 years and graduate with a bachelor's degree. A master's degree is typically completed in 2 years, and it is focused on an advanced study in one subject area. Of the students that are pursuing education beyond their bachelor's degree, about 82% of the students in the United States beyond the bachelor's degree are pursuing a master's degree, and another 18% pursue a doctoral degree. I'd like to now hand the presentation over to our Associate Vice President, International Education, Dr. Sara Trechter.
Next slide, please. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my home, as you can see it in the background. What I'm going to talk about a little bit is the educational system at the university level, and usually what we see with students from India. Indian students, this population has been growing, as you can see from the slide, in the past few years. But what we really notice is that the Indian students who come to us in the United States care deeply about a high quality education, as well as focus on their career readiness and opportunities for kind of practical applications. And so what we see oftentimes is that Indian students would like to do optional practical training to get a job in the United States after their degree, which they can do. And also Indian students tend to be very value conscious, that they want an education that helps them in their future lives. So in the past, what we have primarily seen is that there have been large graduate student populations of Indian students, but we're now starting to see an undergraduate emphasis. And so that is what I would like to talk about a little bit more in the next slide. So if you look at public education in California or in the United States, we tend to divide into community colleges, state universities, and research universities. I'm not going to talk a lot about community colleges, but they are two-year institutions that allow students to transfer either to a state university or to a research university. And so I'm talking about public education, mostly in California right now. And in a conversation this last week with the Consul General from India in San Francisco, he said there are 20,000 students, Indian students in California. Now, a lot of these come to, if you look at the second column there, the California State University system. It's the largest and most affordable system in the United States. We educate something like 480,000 students on 23 campuses. And our focus tends to be undergraduate and master's level. And the goal is to have a practical education to prepare people for their futures and their jobs. Now, the University of California does the same kind of thing, but with a slightly different focus. There are only 10 institutions in the University of California. They educate a little, fewer students, and they are doctoral granting. And so their primary focus oftentimes is research, and it's a little bit less hands-on work with instructors and preparation for jobs. Next. If you compare in terms of the requirements to get into the CSUs and the UCs, for the 23 campuses that we have, we require a 3.0 or a B average to get into the university, but the UCs require a 3.4. In the past, the UCs have required the SAT or the ACT. Currently with COVID, they are not doing that. However, we're thinking that that test may go away. We're not sure what's going to happen with that. The UCs require a series of essays. For us, those are not required for international students. And I think these have been translated into rupees. The application fees are slightly different, but comparable. So we're not that different. We do, though, however, have slightly different TOEFL requirements. You'll notice that we require a 61 or a 6 on the IELTS, but the UCs require an 80 or a 6.5 on the IELTS. So we're slightly different in terms of our requirements to get in. Next. In looking at the costs, those are also a little bit different. So for the California State University system, I think I'm just going to let you read these because you can see the slides. We are definitely about half the cost of what it, for tuition and fees of what it costs to go to the University of California. We are one of the most reasonable institutions in the United States because the goal is to get as many people a college education to provide a future workforce as possible. Next. And then if you're comparing a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, if you were, for instance, to go to a UC and get a master's degree, which is a 2-year program, versus a bachelor's degree at the CSU, you actually would be paying about the same amount of money. Whereas with the bachelor's degree, you're spending 4 years and getting a number of opportunities. But with the master's degree, it's much quicker and it's 2 years, but it costs about the same if you're looking at the UC. Next, please. Okay, so given that, I think what I would like to do is turn this over to our next speaker, and I will be quiet for a little while.
Thank you, Dr. Trechter. I'll take it back up again. And as Dr. Trechter had showed, you can double your time here in the United States to 4 years for the same cost of taking on a master's degree at the University of California or a private university. This double time provides you with more time to improve your English skills and to gain job skills through on-campus employment and practical work experience. In addition, Chico State and our other CSU universities provide hands-on project-based learning where every theoretical concept is reinforced and strengthened through an application-based activity. Among the many classroom services, out of classroom services, our campuses provide to our students, that includes career advising that can include scheduling times to practice your interviewing skills, to work on your resume, and to learn how to navigate the process for applying for employment. Beyond the 4 years, you may apply for an extension to your F1 visa through an optional practical training program. OPT is a temporary employment opportunity that is directly related to your major area of study. Non-STEM students can receive up to 12 months of employment authorization pre or post completion of your studies. If you have earned a degree, whether it's a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate in certain science, technology, engineering, or math fields, STEM, you may apply for an additional 24-month employment extension. Next slide, please. Okay, we're going to try something here. We're going to try to take a poll. We're very interested in knowing what you might be interested in studying. So let's take a second and have you complete this. What subjects do you want to study at the university? And there's business administration, communication studies and public affairs, computer science, economics, engineering, of which there are many fields, fine arts, performance arts, humanities, and the natural sciences. So we'll take a second, let you fill that out, and then we will review the results of the poll a little bit later in the presentation. I hope it should be really fun to see what that looks like. So why don't we move on to the next slide? And let's see if we can, there we go, minimize the, all right. So why CSU Chico? And of course, you keep hearing me call it Chico State. Many universities in the United States are known as commuter campuses where students do not live on campus or near campus, but they commute into campus on a daily basis. It is hard to experience the traditional university experience at these types of large commuter campuses where students are less connected. Chico State offers a traditional university experience where most of our students reside on campus or in apartment complexes that are right adjacent to the campus. Many campuses like ours, like that, we call them residential campuses. This traditional residential university experience is a powerful one in supporting the growth of our students. The residential setting provides many opportunities to engage beyond the classroom with other students and with our faculty and staff. In addition, we offer a full suite of the standard degree programs typical of a comprehensive university, along with some very unique programs that are very unique to us at Chico State, including degrees in agriculture, music industry, recording arts, computer graphics and gaming design, and concrete industry management. Next slide, please. In addition to being a residential campus, Chico State is located in the heart of the city of Chico. We are a classic college town with majestic trees, beautiful brick buildings, and all the amenities of a town that focuses on serving our students. Chico is a small city whose economy is driven by the university, our regional medical community, and agriculture. Chico is the largest city in Butte County, and the county is a major producer of rice, almonds, walnuts, prunes, and a wide variety of fruits and vegetables. This rural environment provides you as a future student with a safe and friendly community. Everyone says hi to everyone else. Given the importance of Chico State, the university, to the city, the downtown, which is just footsteps from the campus, is very student-centered, with restaurants, retailers, and gathering places that are focused on the student customer. The Big Chico Creek runs right through the heart of campus, and the creek is surrounded by trees and native bushes and grass. It is a calming and beautiful respite that provides the entire campus places just minutes away from any building on campus to take a break. In addition to the park-like setting of the campus, the city of Chico hosts one of the largest city parks in California that is centered around the same creek. And finally, because Chico is in Northern California, you are within easy traveling distance to major sightseeing adventures, including Larson Volcano National Park, which is my favorite. It's also known as Mini Yellowstone, the famous Redwood Forest, and Yosemite. Finally, for those of you who want to visit the big cities, Sacramento, which happens to also be the capital of our state, is an hour and a half away by car, and San Francisco is 3 hours away. Next slide, please. Well, our professors, they teach. Our professors are in the classroom, in the laboratories, and they engage our students in research, design, and creative activities. We hire faculty and staff who are at the top of their discipline and who are also dedicated to the teaching profession and for working with students. We maintain small classes with the average class size, the average class student to faculty ratio of 23:1. Every program of study at Chico State includes experiential, active learning, such as hands-on labs, team-based projects, and the creative arts. Our undergraduate students are offered opportunities to engage in research and community service. The faculty at Chico State maintain applied research and community outreach portfolios. These are perfect opportunities for undergraduate students to further their skills and education. Next slide, please. We are so proud of our excellent faculty who bring their disciplinary passion to their students and our community. With that, we thought you would enjoy watching a short video clip from one of our faculty members, Dr. Sandrine Mathiasek, who is originally from France. Dr. Mathiasek will speak about her personal path through higher education and her discovery for the love of teaching. Let's see how the video goes.
I studied hard, but definitely lacked perspective on many aspects of higher education, sometimes feeling lost or like I didn't choose the right degree. See, I was a chemistry major, and I didn't really care about learning how to make new pharmaceuticals. During these challenging times, I hung on to my dream of bringing clean water to people, and eventually this led me to California for my PhD in hydrology at the University of California, Davis. During my PhD, I was finally applying my background in chemistry to studying water quality. I loved tracing carbon from fields to streams, but back in the lab, my samples didn't always talk to me and didn't give me feedback. And the connection with my dream of bringing clean water to people felt a little thin at times. That's when I fell in love with teaching. As a teaching assistant, I loved helping students connect class concepts with their own lives. I realized that my calling was to inspire students to make their own connection with the environment. That's why I feel that I have my dream job at Chico State teaching environmental science. With my research group, I get to work on bringing clean water to communities. But in the classroom, I also get to train the next generation of environmental scientists who will bring clean water to their own communities. My research group focuses on the water quality impacts of urban land uses. We study ways to reduce pollution from urban storm runoff using vegetated systems like rain gardens, bioswales that slow the flow and remove pollutants from stormwater. We work closely with our local community college, Butte College, to study one of their bioswales. Through this collaboration, we've established a nice connection between the two colleges. I've had the joy of working with Butte College transfer students who are now pursuing their own PhD studies. These kinds of water connections have been some of the most meaningful in my life. Another meaningful water connection I've made at Chico State involves the Cortina Rancheria, an Indian reservation near the town of Williams, just an hour south of Chico. The Cortina Rancheria faces extreme water scarcity due to the high salt content of their groundwater, forcing residents to drive to town to buy all of their drinking water. Over the past years, Chico State students have evaluated low-cost water treatment solutions for the Cortina residents, a project that will eventually improve their access to a fundamental human right, clean water.
Thank you. Next slide. There we go. Isn't Dr. Matysek exactly the type of professor you would like to have? Well, you can. We have nearly 1,000 instructional faculty at Chico State, and most bring that same level of passion and their interest in their discipline and their Chico State students. It is this culture and quality of engagement, however, that doesn't quite get fully captured in the traditional ranking systems that you may be familiar with, such as US News. The list of best colleges often is the one that you're most familiar with, is probably the list of major research-focused institutions whose mission is more about research productivity than it is about student success and student-faculty engagement. A major criterion of those lists is the volume of faculty research, and these lists neglect social mobility and the return on investment. These institutions are also often the most expensive. However, US News and other notable media have expanded their ranking systems to rank institutions based upon a comparison of cost versus quality that is sometimes measured by how successful the students are after graduation. This is where Chico State and other CSU universities shine. CSU Chico has been listed for over 20 years as one of the top 10 public universities in the West by US News. We are in the top 7% of best colleges in America as listed by Money Magazine in 2020, and one of the best universities in America for, for educational quality and for value by the Forbes magazine. We are regionally accredited through WASC and promote and maintain disciplinary accreditations such as the gold standards of accreditation for engineering through ABET and in business through AACSB. These are very important accreditations that are recognized as a measure of our quality by employers and graduate schools. Next slide, I believe, might be Sara. Is that correct?
I do believe it's Blake.
Yeah, folks. So again, good morning. My name is Blake Wentz. I'm the Dean of the Engineering College. But looking at the programs we have at Chico State, we are a full service university. So we offer everything from history, psychology, through the engineering degree programs that you see here. So you saw a lot of the variety of programs that we had before on the poll that you took earlier. When you see here some of the top programs that we have, at least in terms of where we see a lot of international students, a lot of them do reside in the engineering space. And then we also see a lot of students in the business administration and in the psychology departments. And so a lot of great choices. So I know many of you out there may be interested in one of these degrees, but please take a look at the other offerings that we have on our website. Like I said, we have over 200 options available. And so, here's the results of the survey we took earlier. And looking at the results there, the #1 answer is computer science, which is great. We have a strong computer science program that I'll talk about here in a little bit. But I see other students here in the business side of the house with business administration, economics, see engineering's well represented there as well, and a few in natural sciences and fine and performing arts. So very good to see a wide variety of interests there. But what's great is all of those options there we have here at Chico State. So next slide, please. I think is really important about the college degree is your ability to get a job after you graduate, and not only to get a job, but to get a career. And what you'll see on the slide here in front of you is there are several programs at Chico State that have had 100% job placement. So every single student that graduated from these programs last year had a full-time job offer when they graduated. And you'll see several of those are in the engineering programs as well. We have other programs that have extremely high interest from companies, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. But you can see the business information systems, psychology, our concrete industry management program. Many of these programs, students had multiple job offers. So they didn't just have one option of where to go when they graduated, they had several. And I think that's a real hallmark of what makes Chico State great is the opportunities we provide. And so, yes, you're going to get a great education, and the companies out there know it, and they're really anxious to hire you. So great all around value there as well. Next slide, please. So again, as the Dean of Engineering, I oversee all of the different engineering programs on our campus, along with computer science, concrete industry management, and construction management. And so here on the slide, you can see the different offerings that we have. Another interesting program we have is computer animation and game development, which is one of the few programs in the country that does that. So if there's anything up here that interests you, we've got a program for you. What the Provost talked about earlier, one of all our hallmarks is you have faculty members that are going to be teaching your classes, not TAs. If you're going to take a class in one of these areas, you're going to meet your faculty member, and your faculty members spent a lot of time in that industry before they became a teacher. I myself was in the construction management world for a number of years, and I was in charge of hundreds of millions of dollars worth of building projects over my career. And now I've taught students. And so I always thought that was very important, is to be able to communicate that to students, and students always seem to like to hear it from the expert themselves. And that's the team that we have at Chico State. Again, small classes, very hands-on. You're going to get a lot of experience. You'll see a lot of labs, a lot of experiential learning going on in the classroom, and you'll really get to know your faculty member, and they'll get to know you, and they've got their connections from their industry past. They talk to a lot of different companies, so they can really help you not only learn what the industry is all about, but they can really help guide you in making the right career choice, going to the right companies, right part of the country, part of the world. They can help you in a lot of different ways. And so they're a great group of people, and they're here to help. And we do a lot of service opportunities, things outside of the classroom, like our student organizations. We do lots of student competitions. And so you can really apply what you've learned in class and then showcase everything that you've done against other universities. We also do community service projects where we'll build homes in the community. We're currently working on one to rebuild one of the local landmarks, the Honey Run Bridge project that got destroyed in a wildfire a couple years ago. So a lot of great ways to really get hands-on experience. Next slide, please. Now, one of the other programs that's very, very unique is our concrete industry management program. This program is one of only 4 programs in the entire country. So we are very blessed to have that. It's got 50 industry partners that have supported it and recruit from it, and they are very, very eager to hire these students. As you saw earlier, it's got a 100% job placement rate. These are people that deal with just the concrete part of the construction industry. So they will go work for firms that are actually doing the production of the concrete itself. They can also go work for companies that are installing the concrete, that are designing the concrete. So it's a very versatile degree. It gives you a lot of different opportunities, a lot of different career paths that that you can do. A really, really great program. And I believe we have a video there, if we could run that quickly.
It is my distinct pleasure to welcome all of you to the ribbon cutting for our Langdon Lab Renovation. Today is a wonderful opportunity to celebrate Chico State's continuing advance. With this lab, we move confidently into the 21st century, one that is innovative, inventive, and hands-on.
This is the most exciting day in a long time for me and for everyone associated with the great CIM program.
For the students that are here, your future in this industry is bright. We need innovation. We have a need for productivity increases, and that all starts right here in laboratories.
This whole semester, mornings, nights, weekdays, weekends, we've been in these labs. Everything I've learned in these labs, I have been able to apply it in and out of the classroom. When we read something, yes, we grasp it, but we can actually apply it when we come into these labs.
What this new lab space allows us to do is to really focus on our studies, to focus on our research, to focus on our growth as individuals and what we can contribute to the concrete industry moving forward.
We want students to come out that are well-grounded, that understand the value of hard work, the value of vision, the value of giving back to our communities, and those are all things that the CIM program does.
Thank you. So you can see we've got a lot of support from industry. Not only are they hiring students, they're investing in high quality laboratory spaces for us to learn in. They also give scholarships. So again, really great opportunities. Next slide, please. Another very interesting program that we have at Chico State is the Business Information Systems degree. This is a program that is actually housed out of the business school, but is actually only one of 6 universities in the world to be a SAP university. The SAP Corporation is actually the largest software company in the world. And so they really wanted to partner with high quality institutions to graduate students that have hands-on experience, again, to be able to get into the workforce from day one and be productive. And this is a really, really popular program for our college and for a lot of students across the world. It really brings a ton of opportunities. The students that go through this type of program can work in IT, they can work in the telecommunications industry. So again, a lot of really, really good opportunities for you when you graduate. We do have a student from India in the program as an undergraduate student. You see down below, Vinay unfortunately can't be here tonight because his brother is getting married this evening. So that's a pretty good excuse. But in talking to him, he wanted to convey a few different things about why he loves Chico State. He picked the school because he was really looking for a high ranking school. He was looking for a very high quality degree, one that would be recognized by companies. He has worked as an intern in the telecommunications industry and just loves it, has absolutely fallen in love with it. And now he's got a clear career path when he graduates. And he wanted to really emphasize to all of you that he thinks campus is absolutely beautiful. And I agree with him. It's just a lovely, lovely place. Next slide, please. Now, this slide, I think, is really important. It really shows this list of companies here. You can see from they cover a lot of different industries, a lot of different areas, but there are some really large companies here, some really big name firms that really love Chico State graduates, and they spend a lot of time and a lot of energy trying to recruit students from our school to come work for their companies, because they know our students are trained to really be productive from the day they graduate. And you can see everything from business and finance, aerospace, technology, all sorts of different companies there, but companies that operate all over the world. NVIDIA, the first company listed there, is a company that recruits here. I know them quite well. I know they actually have a large computer programming center in India. So they have over 20,000 programmers there. And so a lot of these companies here are looking for students from all over the world. They're willing to sponsor students to live in the US afterwards. And so a lot of really, really cool opportunities and all over the country and all over the world. And so that's our goal here is, again, to get you ready, but then to provide you that opportunity to work for that dream company, to get that dream career right when you graduate. And we will do everything we can to help you get there. But as you can see in front of you, lots of great firms looking for our students. Next slide, please. And I will, I believe, pass this back off to Sara.
I will be very quick about this because I know you all have questions and you've been asking them. But I think what's most important to note is that an undergraduate degree in the United States could have a huge return on investment, especially if you choose a place where you're getting the practical skills that you need. For instance, CSU Chico's tuition and fees are less than half, if you look on the left there, than the majority of US public universities, because that's the way California has organized this. And in a town like Chico, the housing costs are much less than a place like San Francisco or Los Angeles. We have scholarships for students, and we also have a free city bus if you're part of the university. And most of the students actually live within 1.5 kilometers of campus, as I do as well. Next slide, please. So if you are interested or you just want to find out more, one thing you can do to find out more about the system or how to apply is to visit our website at csuchico/international. You can also just type questions and ask us at apply@CSU-Chico. You could start an application at Cal State Apply, and our application deadlines are listed there for next fall. The deadline opens on October 1st and the deadline is April 1st. And then we also have spring admissions, and those usually end, they're a very short period there. They're just for a month, and then they end on September 30th. So that gets into how to apply, but I know you have questions for all of us. I'd like to thank you for being patient. I hope we haven't just inundated you too much with information, but we're open to your questions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. We have really enlightening lecture. I'm sorry to trouble you at the midnight. It's 11:45 midnight, and so still you contributed a lot to our webinar. We can't help because the time difference is 12 hours. We are on the other side of the globe. So I'm extremely sorry to trouble you at this time. I do apologize on behalf of all the students and parents also. But you have given excellent information, and I'm sure it was very encouraging because there's a lot of apprehension because of COVID-19 and the election which is taking place after 3 days. But I think by next week, everything will be clear. And in fact, your team is joining again on 22nd of November to discuss what is the impact of election on the American economy and the job opportunities. So I once again thank all the stalwarts in their own fields, and thank you very much on behalf of all the students and their parents, and good night.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate being here. Good night.